tracks at Kentucky came from western Pennsylvania, and everyone who followed football knew that Johnny Unitas, the greatest of them all, learned to pass the ball there as well. During Joe's senior season, a couple of Crimson Tide recruiters had paid a visit to his hometown of Beaver Falls. They had listened to stories about the local phenomenon, heard the rumors about his less-than-wholesome lifestyle, and met the young man himself. Joe was brash and confident, but hardly headed for Sing Sing. But then his high school coach, Larry Bruno, showed the recruiters films of Namath in action. Projected on a bedsheet, the unprofessional, grainy black and white flickering images, shot from a high angle, showed a football genius, a boy who had hands almost as big as Sonny Liston's and could throw a football like Whitey Ford threw a baseball. They wanted Namath, but he was not interested in them. Tuscaloosa was simply not on his radar. Namath chose Maryland instead, but now Maryland had unchosen him, and Alabama had a second chance. "Go get 'em and bring 'em here," Bear told Schnellenberger. Then, digging into a tin of petty cash, Bryant handed him a fistful of traveling money. Schnellenberger was not about to disappoint Coach Bryant. He had played for Bear at Kentucky and knew the coach did not tolerate failure or excuses. Getting the job done was all that mattered. Anything less was unacceptable. "I sure the heck didn't want to go back to Tuscaloosa by myself and have to listen to Coach Bryant talk about it," he recalled. Schnellenberger flew to Pittsburgh and rented a car. Driving northwest on Ohio River Boulevard, hugging the north side of the river, he meandered through the heartland of industrial America. Every mile he traveled, on both sides of the river, he saw steel mills belching smoke and dumping pollutants into the Coke bottle green and muddy gray waters. He passed steel bridge after steel bridge, connecting industrial plants to industrial plants, choked with 18-wheelers going into and out of the mills. Locals said that that stretch of the river had more bridges than anywhere in the world, except Venice. And Venice didn't count, they claimed, because the Venetians called any stick across a puddle a bridge. Schnellenberger saw no stick bridges, nor any romantic covered ones like he would have seen in southeastern Pennsylvania. He saw only the steel veins of industrial America, pulsing with the work of a nation. Ohio River Boulevard followed the snaking path of the river, past Ambridge with its American Bridge Company, past Aliquippa with its two branches of the Jones and Laughlin Steel Corporation, North Star Transfer Coal Company, and Dravo Corporation, and past Monaca with its Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation. At Rochester, the Ohio River intersected with the Beaver River, and Schnellenberger followed Route 18 into New Brighton and over the river into Beaver Falls, where the road became 7th Avenue. Before domestic troubles divided his parents, Joe Namath had lived at the lower end of the street, just a few Hail Mary passes from the river. The factories along the Ohio and Beaver rivers did not seem to touch the hills above them, which were as heavily wooded as they must have been when the first English colonists arrived. But the hills and woods were for hunting, not making money. It was the factories that lured Germans, Poles, Italians, Czechs, Hungarians, and other immigrants to the region, and the Catholic churches in Beaver Falls testified to this. Holy Trinity served the Poles, St. Ladislaus the Hungarians, and St. Mary's, the oldest and wealthiest, the Germans. In the late 19th and 20th centuries, the area also became known for the production of football players. Back in the day when Dr. Jock Sutherland contended for national championships at the University of Pittsburgh.